going on, guys? Welcome back to Nottingham Forest, where we are going to be embarking on our the beginning of our kind of remaking of this team here and this program from the bottom up. I tried to just kind of skip forward a few days to see if I can get the kind of introduction stuff out of the way, and for the most part, I think I was able to do that. So, what we're going to do in this video is my favorite part of this game. We're going to essentially start building things, gutting things, and building things from the bottom. We're going to go through the staff today. I want to start trying to hire some people to fill out our staff. We're going to go look through our team reports and look at our kind of our squad and just see who we have, which is obviously very important. And then also, I think our plan, we kind of identify what we want to do and what our kind of scope for the rest of the season is going to be. One thing I didn't really realize is the championship, their like transfer windows and all that type of stuff is a little bit different than the Premier League. So it looks like, I believe it is at least. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like we are coming up on 2 days before the window closes. I don't believe we have too much in terms of finances or anything to be able to do anyways. If you look in the top right, we have, let's see, almost 4 million in transfer budget, and our payroll is 33 million. And like I said, we don't have much in terms of, money. We also don't have any idea of who we're going to want to go after, or any kind of scouting for that matter, whatsoever. So I think we're going to probably sit tight, not do anything aggressive in this window. We'll wait until the off season for that, when we can get our feet underneath us a little bit and see what we might be able to find. But to start things off here, let's go to our staff and we'll start from the beginning. So you can see on the top here, on the three different aspects of our team, are the coaching team that we have in place here for the senior squad, our recruitment team, and then our medical team. Obviously, our medical team is in really good shape. We have, our head physios is still there, who we checked out before. He's very good. We have a chief doctor, head of sports science, as well as 2 physios and our sports science as well. So if we actually go to that team, we can take a look here. So Alexandros Koinis looks to be our doctor, which is fine. Neil Sims is obviously for a physio is pretty good, 16. You can't really argue with that. I don't like how it automatically moves that direction. But, so we're okay with him. With Thomas Barnden. So essentially we're just good with, he looks good. Everybody on this screen looks like they're fine. So we'll go ahead and we'll start there. But we obviously have a lot of work to do with our coaching staff. We have a lot of work to do with our recruitment team. So let's go ahead and let's start for looking for our assistant coach. So that's something that in this game I put a lot of importance in, because your assistant coach will be somebody that you'll be able to bounce ideas off of. They'll be able to give you tips and for if you're looking at man management or anything like that, which is really good. So plus they can help you if you need help with picking out what your team looks like and any of that kind of stuff. So let's start there. So what I like to do when I start looking for a position like that is I like to just pull up what the role looks like, and I'll just start with reputation, even though I'm not going to actually hire somebody that's going to be really all that highly regarded anyways. I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, so there you go. Dennis Bergkamp. I'm going to click his profile here. So if you click his assistant coach page, so there's a couple things when it comes to coaches and to players to some degree too, but especially for any kind of staff. On these screens, your staff search screen where I just was, when you're a team, the people that show up, the staff members that show up on that screen are staff members that would be interested in potentially, working for you. It's not going to pull, the absolute best GM only to have you be able to reach out and have the GM say no. It's only going to be able to pull people. It will only show you people that might be remotely interested in working for you. Now, it doesn't mean that they will actually accept offhand exactly what you're going to offer them, but there's just a good opportunity for that to happen. So that's what that looks like here. Looking at the assistant coach screen for Dennis, man management, judging player ability, judging player potential are the 3 key stats that we're targeting here for the assistant coach. All are 11, which isn't too bad. Now, here's the thing. he could be an assistant coach. He looks like he could be just a regular coach as well. And for regular coaching, he's interesting to look at because he has, if you look at his highest stats, 19 for technical is great, 16 for attacking is fantastic, determination's 18, motivation 13, level discipline 11, but defending 4, fitness 1, tactical 9. What I like to do when I build out an actual coaching staff of just coaches, I try to diversify them. So, in this case, this guy might be more specialized on the attacking side or the technical side. Some might be more specialized in, I like to have at least one who's really good at tactical, so he can give me tactical recommendations, that type of thing. To be honest with you, this Dennis guy looks like he could be a solid fit for one of our coaches because we have 6 more openings that we need to find here. So I don't mind offering him a coaching position. I think that would be fine. Let's see what he'd be looking for. Okay. Oh, it's going through the introductory inductions here. I don't really want to, I don't need that, but I'll skip by all that stuff. It's helpful for a new player. That's one of the things about the most recent couple of years for Football Manager. 2020, I believe, was the first year to do it. Now this year is if you're new to this game, they call them inductions. The inductions that they included are really helpful because it's not just a tutorial video. It's an actual, it walks you through the process and it helps you. You have to, basically set up your team. You have to create your formations. The tactics screen we saw in the last video briefly, it makes you do all that stuff, by yourself while you're doing it. So you're not having to watch a video, go back and forth and try to make sure you're doing the right thing. It actually walks you through, which is really helpful. All right. So we're making Dennis an offer here. It looks like full-time, going to be a coach, 2 years. Now, top division promotion salary raise. That's okay where it is. I think I don't want to, we'll see what he can do. The bigger issue is the salary. So this is above what we can be afforded to pay a coach. Like he wants $213,000. We can only pay $137,000. So we can suggest that he, doesn't want to do that. We can try again. This is the max we can do is $137,000. I don't think we're going to be able to get Dennis here. So it kind of makes sense. He's a little bit, he's a little bit more well-renowned around the world, which is fine. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple clauses here. So if we get promoted, let's offer him, let's say we'll offer him $15,000 for a promotion. And let's say if we avoid relegation, we'll give him $15,000. So that's an extra $30,000. I doubt he's going to take this, but it's worth a shot, and we'll see what he says. In fact, we'll make sure we give him a salary raise if we actually get hired because it's pretty low for a good coach in this game. But we'll see. So making the offer for $137, won't take it. Okay, no problem. So he's a little high level. I figured as such. But what that does allow us to do, now we know what to look for assistant coaches. So my little trick, or I shouldn't say trick, the way I do this search is I will always just select the role, and then I'm going to select the attributes that they talked about that mattered. So judging player ability, judging player potential, and then man management are the ones that I want to focus on. All at 15 for the minimum. That's the minimum number for the attribute. And it looks like nobody fits that bill, which is okay. We'll go back and we'll start moving this around. So I think I want to target... We'll just go little by little and see what might be out there. If we can get anybody that's... Okay, this Luke Nillis. Let's see. Looks like Luke is from Belgium. Okay. So assistant coach, man management 13, 14, 14. So that's not bad. Level discipline good. So he's actually... across the board, he looks actually pretty good, and he has a really good sphere of influence here. You know what? This might be double dipping a little bit, but he looks like he'd be a pretty good scout. I mean, let's see what he could be a good scout or coach. Let's do this. How about we do this? We'll go ahead. We'll mark him. We're gonna add him to the short list for now. So. Ideally, I would find somebody that has better man management than that. That's a little low. Only because I'm going to use him primarily to sometimes do kind of pep talks and that type of thing. It'll be a little bit easier. Potential. Okay. Okay. So let's see. These three guys. Let's go. So all three, it looks like they're free agents here. Assistant coach. 16 man management, 13-13 for Danilo Butrovic. That's not too bad. So 16 there. Nigel Gibbs, man management, motivating. Yeah, I like that. I mean, so far he kind of stands out, to be honest with you. That too. Let's just do a little bit. Let's go one more. Okay, honestly, I like Nigel Gibbs. I like his man management. And I like his player ability potentials. Okay, but that might be, some of the best we can find here. And Danilo Butrovic is pretty solid too as an assistant. But let's go ahead and see what we can get for Nigel Gibbs. So again, these guys might be a little bit more. Oh, so he's right there. Okay, so that's not too bad. That's fine. Let's see. He wanted 170. I'm going to try to lowball him a little bit and see if we can get him to work with us. There's really no harm in this. Yeah, so he accepted it. The one thing you want to keep an eye on is if any of these guys are with a team, then you obviously, if you're going to make it, they might accept an offer that you offer to them, but they may not leave their team. Their team could always counter, which is something you have to keep an eye on. But for that's okay. Cool. So we have an offer out for an assistant coach. That's great. Let's look at head of youth development now. Now this is a really interesting position. I've seen a lot of people that do kind of saves in this game, in these games, that don't have one of these, and it doesn't seem to matter to them, which is obviously totally fine. I actually find this position pretty useful because essentially what these guys do is they world reputation. There you go. Let's just pick him as an example. What these guys basically do is they help with your youth intakes. If you have a team that has, a youth academy and can bring people in, these guys help with that. And the better that your head of youth development is, the better for, in that field. So again, for him, looks like he working with youngsters, player ability, player potential. You'll notice a common theme between player ability and player potential being for pretty much most of these here. So let's go ahead and let's refine our search. I don't care about more reputation. Working with youngsters, player ability, player potential, boom, boom. Okay, so we have 6 with this. Let's try to go ahead and let's try to max some of this stuff out. Okay, so not there. Henry Tempest, I should say. Harry Tempest. Okay. So he's pretty solid. These guys can be a little bit more expensive. Let's try something different here. I want to get the closest match to all 3 roles. Okay, so we have 2. So Henry Tempest and Danny Hobbs. Let's see. So Henry, 19 working with youngsters, which is fantastic. 15 and 15 for that, which is good, and a solid all around profile. And he's 43, so ideally he might be able to stay around for a while. 18 working with youngsters, and then 15 for player ability, player potential. Both are really good, to be honest with you. So I'm fine with either. Let's go for Henry first, just because he's a little bit younger and he's just got slightly better. Working with youngsters stat. Okay, so he looks like he actually could be. So he's a little bit off in terms of what he wants, but I think he might be able to accept. Okay, cool. There we go. Great. Boom. So we have an offer out for our assistant coach, and we have an offer out for the head of youth development. Let's look at head performance analysts. Okay, so this Joe Lee guy is better at analyzing data by 1, and he's worse than in technical knowledge than the other. I prefer technical knowledge, to be honest. Now, this Tom Bromley guy may not take this because he's already working at MK Dons as it looks like a sports scientist. So let's see if we can do head performance analyst with him. Would he take that? He wants to do head of sports science. Okay. He's not good at that, so I don't want to... If I can avoid... Okay, there you go. He did accept the head performance. That's fine. Okay, cool. All good. So we made an offer for him. We might have to come back and visit that, though, because he didn't want to leave for that position, so he may stay at his team. We'll have to see. So great. So we have assistant coach. So we're good there. So now let's find some coaches. Again, we need 6 of them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to... does Luke Nillis guy, I'm going to hire as a coach if I can. Oh, he's going to be too expensive. Never mind. No way. I'm going to remove him. He's good. You know, he's great, but he's too expensive. Now, for coaches, we have a fitness coach who's okay, and we need 6 more coaches. So let's just take a look. So Warren Joyce, as a coach, looks great. I mean, like across the board, he's great in pretty much everything. Tactical, not, but everything else is fantastic. His main management is not great, so he wouldn't have been an assistant coach, but he would make a really good regular coach if they let us do it. So I want to try a couple things. Let's see what before, I don't want him to like block us out here. So let's do this again. So if we get promoted, you know what? Let's just offer him 20. And then if we avoid relegation, we'll offer him 20. Because I want, if we can get this guy, that would be absolutely huge. And then we'll do 40 as a. So yeah, he doesn't want that. $25 and $25. I'm willing to go through a lot for this guy because he's. We'll max out there. I don't know if we're going to get him. Let's try one more. There you go. Okay. So he did accept. I don't know if we're going to actually get that guy, and I kind of paid a lot, but that's fine. That will be fine. Damien Duff. Okay. From Ireland. Nice. Yeah, I mean, and working with youngsters, so he's good all around too. So we're not going to make him a fitness guy, but everything else is solid. So I want to sign him. So this is another, I mean, we can interact with the board to like get more money, to pay more for some of these, but the reality is we just started. It's not realistic for us to come in and say we want a bunch more money. So I think this guy would be okay. So he accepted our under 18 job, which is really good because I think he'd be good for that. Mike Whitlow as a coach. Defending, yeah, I think he'd be an okay coach overall. Yeah, cool. Good motivating. Let's see if we can get him in here. Okay, so I think we're good for the coaches. Now let's look quickly over at performance analysts. So this is going to be a longer video, so I apologize for that. But, again, it will be worth it. Now, I've really, honestly, going through and looking at performance analysts and sometimes recruitment analysts, I don't really have much luck in finding really good guys. It's usually pretty standard around this mark. So 14 and 14 is actually really solid. So I'm gonna definitely offer him. And I believe we need 2, so I'm going to try to offer him as well because he's the same. Oh, he's going to want too much, I think. We'll see. Maybe we'll get him low. He's willing to negotiate, it looks like. There you go. Nice. Great. 3 of those we need. So let's go ahead and... James Ryder, 1314. I'm fine with that. Oh, he's willing to do under 18? Okay. That's fine with me. Juanjo. Perfect. Welcome aboard, Juanjo. Hopefully, we'll see. That does it for our coaching staff. Hires, or offers, I should say. Well, hopefully we get all of them to accept and we'll be good to go. Now is the fun part. Let's look at general managers in our recruiting team. Let's look at some good scouts and fill that team out here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go with this James Beckett guy first. 17, 17, 12. I just like that he has a little bit higher there. Negotiation, we're not going to use him too much anyways, so we'll just see what he wants. And he might be, no, he won't be too expensive. Cool. Let's have him nice and cheap. We can upgrade this position going forward, for sure. Not concerned about that. We'll, as our team gets a little bit more kind of well known amongst the world, more people will be interested in working for us, and I think we'll be we'll get some good quality people that are interested. Okay, we got two guys. Neil Sullivan, not bad. A little bit better. Gonna go with him. Man, in my other save, I think I'm paying my like general manager millions. With these guys, it's so little. Okay. For scouts, looks like we need 3 more scouts. I'm going to push the board constantly to let us build out our scouting team as high as much as possible, because that's a pretty important function. I like to just have scout as many people as possible. It just helps. Then you can kind of identify people you want to go after, and especially when you're a building club like this, that's just by far the best way to go. Okay, so we're looking for adaptability, but judging player ability, those are the most important here. Graham Carr, 76. I mean, he might be interested. I don't know if he would be interested. Graham Carr. He's a little old for a scout. I don't even know if he would. Let's offer. I don't know if he's going to want to take a scout job. Yeah, no, he... Take it or leave it for general manager. We are good there, sir. Okay, so we have a couple more here. Oh, David Moss. Same thing. These might be the 3 guys that we go after. So Russell Hewlett, or Hullett, 15, 18. That's not bad at all. Roger Cross, 15, 17. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to try to see if... Okay, he does want it. Good. Nice. David Moss, welcome. Hopefully you take that. I think these... Him too. Okay. Like both. Let's just try one thing. I'm going to lower this. I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to go as high as possible. Yeah, he's good. He wants the Chief Scout title, though. I don't really want to give him that. But I'll pay him as much as I can for a regular Scout. Great. There we go. Love it. Ooh, he's good too. Let's see. Okay. Well, I made an extra offer to somebody. This Gianluca Nani from Italy, just because he has that Italian kind of background, could be really helpful for us on a world knowledge scale. So I'm fine with that. We'll see what happens. I mean, for scouts, these 3 guys, and then 4 if you include David Moss. Fingers crossed those guys just accept and we're good. We don't have to worry about any more there. So that's good. And then that should do it for our staff. I think that's everybody. Now, we're going to run into the issue, I'm sure, of, some people from different countries. So we have to worry about, work permits and all that kind of stuff, which the game definitely has, which is a delightful, fun time. But we'll just have to see what they want to do. So here we are with just our kind of depth chart for our team on the left here. We obviously don't have any analysts yet on the team, so we don't have any information that it can provide for us. That's one of the things that does really help having. So as we're looking at the team here, I'm sorry, that was actually the overview screen that had our assistants best 11, but we're going to go depth chart. It helps us a little bit more. So when you're looking at these players, so in this game, we're looking at star systems for all these players, 1 through 5. Yellow stars for all these guys. What I actually learned this last year, which I'm ashamed to say. I had always assumed that was just kind of like the player's ability to fit. That's the player's like skill level. But I think what it actually is it's the player's ability on your particular squad. Meaning, if you're looking at, right now, with Knockert, or Anthony Knockert, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I'll have to learn that. But Anthony Knockert's 4 stars as a wing. That's good. It's really good. But that's for a Sky Bet championship team. If you put him on Manchester United or Liverpool, that might be 2 stars or 1 star. And he, wouldn't really be an effective option necessarily. So that's something to keep in mind here. But for now, all of these guys are, the team itself actually looks pretty solid. Everybody looks like starting wise is 3.5 stars at least, except for our back right defender. Cool. This team's actually pretty good. So that's kind of where we are looking at there. Now, looking at the actual, squad, I guess we'll go by tactics. You can see the lines that kind of run between the different players. So that indicates a partnership between the players themselves. So when the line, I believe, it starts off and it's this darker color. I believe when it gets the lighter the color, the better the partnership. But having the line there at all is good. It says right here, Joe Worrell and Scott McKenna have a fairly decent partnership, having played together often in their selected roles. So the goal for us will be getting players and obviously having them play with other players so they can get used to them. And they can start to develop partnerships. That just leads to more consistent product on the field as we go along and play. One thing that I learned this year and that has been hugely successful and helpful for me is mentoring. I'm going to do that in a little bit, but what we basically can do is we can create different groups here. So I'll just jump right in and do it. Now, I don't know who's going to be what, but I believe with some of these guys. So Knockert, Freeman, Nottingham. Just as an example, you can add guys to a mentor group, and that helps for 2 reasons. One, that helps develop partnerships faster, but it also helps with influence on specific players. So you can see here, between these 4 players, estimated influence on group, average, light, average. But estimated effect from group, none is everybody except for Alex Mighton, who is significant. He's 18, playing with some vets. That's good. That's what you want. And we can make those groups for, all the different levels of our squad. Now, as you can see for tactics, it's essentially split up into, I believe it's going to pretty much be 4 categories. We have our attacking players. So these, the striker and the attacking midfielder, if you have one, would actually be, or your, attacking midfielder, or would be a partnership. The wing players, so your wingers, and then your wingbacks or fullbacks, would be your left and right backs would be the partnership there. Your central defenders would be a partnership, and then your midfield would be your partnership. What I want to do with this team, first and foremost, and you can look just by looking at all these players. So we 3.5 stars. Our central defense is okay. Our left wing seems to be pretty solid. Our attacking players look pretty good, actually, and our strikers okay, looks like too. But right away, our defense our midfield, I'm sorry, needs work. And I always tend to concentrate on midfield first, and then build out from there, just because that kind of helps with the both back and forth of the game. It helps with the attack, helps the defense. It makes the games. It just kind of helps make your team play more solidly. So that's definitely what I want to start in my search when we start going forward with this. But we'll go down to our development center. We'll see some of the players we have, in contention or ready to potentially come up and play pretty soon. So on this screen, you'll see on the top left, the players out on loan, our under 23 squad in the middle, which Gareth Holmes has said that it's a strong squad. Under 18 is also a strong squad, and there's some specifications there. A group of youngsters who are close to being ready for first-time opportunities. That's great. You can see right here on the first-team candidates, that speaks to that exactly. Finback is a young midfielder. He potential is 4 stars, and that 5th star is a mystery. He may or may not be able to do that, depending. But that's still pretty damn good potential. So this guy looks to be exactly as I described, needing midfield help. He looks like he's going to answer that bell for us. He looks solid. He's already 2-star. He's 18. He's already 2-star ability, with that capability of getting more. That's great. George Shelby as a goalkeeper. Again, 3 stars with a potential 4th. We'll see more on that when we get our kind of staff together. They'll get more accurate readings on these players. A bunch of these guys need attention here. Some guys that are up and coming and could be pretty good for us. Scouting, for right now, I don't, quite frankly, this doesn't mean too much. I'm going to see let's start fast forwarding here, and let's see if we can get some our staff in here, because I want to be able to start getting everything set up. Looks like we're going to be being introduced to the squad. The nice small little room here. I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce myself as the new Nottingham Forest head coach. So right away, I already promised them I'm going to be looking at improving the coaching staff. And I'm telling them that their squad is basically pretty good the way it is. I'm not going to make any kind of widespread changes for the time being. And I told them that I think we can finish top half. So these meetings can kind of run their course pretty quick, and you can really upset your players very easily. It happens all the time. I got lucky there, and it looks like they're pleased with what I have. So I finalized the code of conduct. Great. So everything went pretty well. So if you look at our dynamics and what we have going on there, we have our top influencers on the bottom left, Michael Dawson and Joe Worrell. Glenn Murray's concerned. He wants a new deal. I'll have to look into that. He's an older player. If we're going to try to be... I think one thing we have to definitely do is get younger, get some playing time with some younger guys. I don't know how much money he's going to be asking for, and, I don't know. He's a poacher. That's not really something that I usually play with. He's good, but again, he's 37. We'll have to see. But right now, our leadership support's not there because we just came in. Club atmosphere is okay. It's above average. We have to try to keep these things under control a little bit because it's going to get out of hand pretty quickly if we don't. If you look at our hierarchy, Michael Dawson and Joe Worrell are the 2 team leaders on the squad, being our captain and vice captain. That makes sense. If you look at all the guys underneath, that's where we are. And we have our press conference here, our first press conference to meet the media. Let's go ahead and attend that. Welcome, first of all, Mister. How do you feel sat here as the new Nottingham Forest head coach? I smile warmly. Very excited. We have our first signing here. It looks like Henry Tempest, our head of youth development, is about ready to sign, and he looks great. So excited to have him. He's going to be huge for us. Once more of our guys start to sign, I'm going to start. We'll go into like the responsibility screen, and we'll try to divvy out what we want to do here. But obviously, really good start for us and our future here. So we're in a good place here. We got a majority of our staff in. So let's go ahead and let's start looking at responsibilities for these guys, just to see what they can do. This is for for me to do. I'm gonna leave that for now. Okay. Board, the president, and the owner do all these. It's fine. Let's see here. Handles team selection. That will be me. Handles team selection for under 23. That will be... I don't know if they have an under 23 coach. I'll let Henry Tempest take care of that. Damian Duff, who is obviously the head coach of under 18, he'll be doing that. Hiring and firing the general manager, that'll be me. Technical director, that would also be me. Hiring and firing their head, that'll be okay. Yep, these are all perfect. I'm going to take control of that too. So I want to be in charge of under 23. I don't know why they weren't letting me do it before, but that's fine. Good. Perfect. Okay. Again, take control. The president has these powers. I prefer to be in charge of all of this if possible. Now, I am going to delegate with the technical director for undertaking courses. In fact, I'm just going to let the technical director do it for all of those. I think that just works a little bit better. Make sure to save. Contracts, general manager contracts. So that's good for me to do all this. I'm going to take control of these. Yep. I just want to have control of, the staff from the entire, all of the levels of the team, just because if there's younger coaches that I want to get in and like develop them, I want to be able to have control of that as opposed to letting the president or the board let players or coaches walk. If we can avoid that, I'd prefer to do that. Okay, advice and reports. This is a pretty important page for us. Transfers and contracts here. Derek Langley is fantastic, so he's definitely going to be doing that for us. You can see his little, they already give you the attributes, 16 and 20. Providing scout feedback, again, love it. He'll be able to help there. Player development. Richard Beal's good. He's good enough. That's fine. That's what we're looking for. Player reports. Do head of youth. Perfect. It is, and it's funny because you end up getting guys like Derek Langley, who's like really good, obviously with his attributes. So you kind of just put him on everything. It just makes it easier for you. So for tactical, so this is why we went through and found a couple different folks here. So I think I'm gonna have Richard Beal do it. Although his tactical, actually, I'm gonna probably have Keith. Tactical knowledge is the one thing we probably could have looked at more. That's all right. We can always do that going forward. And again, we'll go back and we'll fix that once we have the rest of our coaches, because there's still guys that were specialized in different areas that I think should be able to help in those areas. We'll wait. We'll come back to that screen because there's some of the coaches are waiting for work permits. And they are, I think, are more specialized in some of those areas. So we'll see what we have at that point. Looking at scouts, Derek Langley being the chief scout, go nuts. Like, you control the team. Opposition reports, yeah, for sure. Okay, a big thing that I That I don't they changed that at some point. I don't know why, but when you scout a player, watch him until full knowledge. That's just works much better for me, because if you don't, they follow the player for a couple weeks, and then the player, you don't know who the player is. You just have a little bit of an idea, and then if you don't even know who you might be getting if you decide to buy somebody or trade or transfer somebody. All right, so I'm an idiot, and I should have advanced another screen because there was guys that weren't quite in our that weren't available yet to be able to do some of these things. So let's just make sure. So the deadline has passed, and obviously nothing important happened. I loaned out one player, but other than that, we seem to be set. We have our staff in place now. It looks like everything pretty much from across the table is relatively set. So we are in prime position here going forward. So I think that actually should do it for this episode. We'll pick it up a little bit later. As you can see right now, we are sitting in the 10th position at 42 points. It looks like, it's not that many points. There's only a few points. 2 points separate us from, 3 points separate us from the teams that are in playoff contention. So we are right there. We can make some noise after that first game. There is a lot of good quality players on this team, and I really like what we have. So going forward here, we could make some noise entering the playoffs and in the championship, and maybe see what we can do for working our way up. But until then, I will keep an eye out for anything else that could become available. That should be it for this episode. We got our staff all set up. We were able to look at our team and see what we had here in Nottingham. And we also won our first game 4-1. Great win. We're sitting in 10th with only a few points away from the playoff spot with half the season left to go. So the future is bright here in Nottingham. We will see you guys next time.